from powerful wind in Florida that destroy everything and everywhere, and fluting in the North Carolina that disturbing the people of the country. In this video, Best Media TV tells most extreme hurricane fraudage caught on camera. Like and subscribe the video.
Oh man, oh this is scary, guys.
Let's start. By September 2nd, the storm had moved into the mid-Atlantic region, bringing destructive thunderstorms and tornadoes to Virginia, Georgia, and Maryland. New York saw over 3 inches of rain each hour, which led to catastrophic flooding in the city's streets. In the end, Ida went down as one of the most destructive hurricanes in U.S. history. It caused over $75 billion in damages, claimed 112 lives, and devastated regions from Cuba to Atlantic Canada. September 28th of 2022, Fort Myers, Florida is underwater. Hurricane Ian was an intense, high-end Category 4 storm and the strongest to make landfall in Florida since Hurricane Michael in 2018. Wind speeds climbed to 155 miles per hour, only 2 miles per hour shy of making Ian a Category 5 hurricane. It's unlikely those 2 miles per hour made a real difference. Ian still went down as one of the most destructive and deadly hurricanes of all time. Ian was born between September 14th and 15th as a tropical wave off the west coast of Africa. It moved across the Atlantic Ocean and officially became Tropical Storm Ian on September 23rd. Over the next few days, Ian grew into a powerful hurricane. By the morning of September 27th, Ian reached Category 3 intensity, becoming the strongest September storm in the Gulf of Mexico since Hurricane Irma in 2017. Ian first made landfall in Pinar del Rio province in western Cuba. Life-threatening storm surges knocked out the entire island's power grid. Parts of Cuba looked like a wasteland, and Ian wasn't done yet. The storm had its eyes on Fort Myers, Florida, where local communities were under mandatory evacuation orders. Those who risked everything to stay behind captured some of the wildest hurricane footage you'll ever see. Watch how Ian's relentless winds batter everything in sight as the storm surge completely floods Fort Myers. That's what Ian looked like from the safety of this high-rise apartment. On the ground, things were much, much worse. August 29th of 2021. Hurricane Ida makes landfall along the southeastern coast of Louisiana.
You got this tractor trailer that's coming! Tractor trailer right here! Oh!
Sustained winds blew upwards of 150 miles per hour, making Ida the second most intense storm to hit Louisiana since Hurricane Katrina. Coincidentally, Ida struck on the same day as Katrina, only 16 years later. By the time it was over, the hurricane, storm surge, rain, and associated tornadoes caused about $75 billion in damage. Tropical wave moving across the eastern Caribbean Sea. By dinner time, it was officially named Tropical Storm Ida. Ida gained significant strength over the next several days. By the time it smashed into Cuba on August 27th, it was a Category 1 hurricane. From there, the storm moved into the Gulf of Mexico, where the warm, open waters allowed it to gain immense strength. It rose through the hurricane ranks, quickly becoming a Category 4 storm. And fall, Louisiana authorities believed Ida would be the strongest hurricane to impact the state since the mid-19th century. Governor John Edwards said she would be the ultimate test for the new levee system in New Orleans. While those in Ida's direct path fled the area, others stayed behind and recorded the storm in real time. This footage from Lafourche Parish shows Ida's winds ripping apart what looks like a music school. Elsewhere in Lafourche, a brave local kept the camera rolling as Ida's winds knocked over everything in sight. For context, traffic lights can easily weigh between 100 and 300 pounds. Watch how Ida whips them around like paper. Finally, in La Rose, Louisiana, a local man woke up to learn that Ida was spinning directly over his house. Watch how it made quick work of the property and sent a shipping container barreling across his neighbor's lawn.
Getting close to the eye right now. We're starting to lose on the roofs. It's an unbelievable. You got this tractor trailer that's coming. Tractor trailer right here. Oh, shit. That's an 18-wheeler trailer.
According to our
cameraman, he and his wife spent the morning sipping coffee on the porch as water from the bayou began flooding their lawn. They fled to a neighbor's house, which was better equipped to handle the storm. Then, hours later, all hell broke loose. Ida wasn't done after landing in Louisiana. On October 2nd of 2024, Hurricane Helene officially became the deadliest mainland storm since Hurricane Katrina. It smashed into the Big Bend of Florida and wreaked havoc on many inland regions, especially North Carolina.
I know we're friends.
Damn!
Oh, so.
Hurricane Helene began on September 17th as a small storm in the western Caribbean Sea. Its peak sustained wind speed of 140 miles per hour as it landed on the Big Bend region of Florida, making it the strongest hurricane ever to strike the area. Time-lapse footage from a home on the Crystal River shows how quickly the storm surge overwhelmed everything in sight. The wind blew violently until around 10 p.m. on the 26th, at which point the water began rising. It breached the grass close to midnight and rose over this family's back porch around 1 a.m. By 2 a.m., water had entered the home and climbed about halfway up the wall. The power flashed out, and it took until 8:30 that morning for most of it to recede. This was a familiar scene in Florida and one the locals had anticipated. However, the storm blindsided those living in places like Swannanoa, North Carolina. Take this man who was almost washed away in a freak flash flood.
Oh, shoot. Oh, man. My trailer's going. Oh, shit.
Even if he wanted to. By midday, the water was between 4 and 5 feet high. Lucky for him, his trailer held up and he escaped with his life. Others weren't so lucky. Storm-related events, such as flash flooding, claimed over 90 lives in North Carolina alone. It'll be several more days, maybe even weeks, until we know how bad Hurricane Milton truly was. As of this writing, over a dozen people have perished, millions are without power, and thousands of homes have been flooded or destroyed. depression formed in the Bay of Campeche off the coast of southeastern Mexico. This depression rapidly grew into Tropical Storm Milton, becoming the 13th named storm of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, a season that had gotten off to an oddly slow start. It had only been 10 days since Hurricane Helene brought widespread devastation to the Big Bend region of Florida and the Mid-Atlantic area. Some people were just beginning to pick up the pieces when news of another hurricane reached their ears. According to NASA, Milton underwent a remarkable period of rapid intensification. In just 48 hours, the storm went from a tropical depression to a full-fledged Category 5 hurricane. Wind speeds increased from 35 miles per hour to 160 miles per hour, with some reports claiming they reached 180 miles per hour. Fell to a Category 3 storm when it landed near Siesta Key, Florida on October 9th of 2024. The barrier island took the brunt of the damage as Milton shrunk to a Category 1 storm while moving across the state. Once it passed, footage from affected areas around Siesta Key and Sarasota appeared online. These drone shots come from a flooded neighborhood in Sarasota County. Watch as the water covers the streets and land between all these houses. It almost looks like the neighborhood was built directly over a lake. Imagine stepping outside to find this on your doorstep. While most people evacuated as Milton came ashore, these daredevils flew their plane into the eye of the storm. And you need nerves of steel and a rock-solid stomach to do this job. Their work saves lives, plain and simple. The data they collect helps predict how intense a hurricane will likely be and where it will land. But the hurricane itself is not the only thing we have to worry about, seen in this footage provided by the local sheriff's department.
Thanks for joining. Stay tuned and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos.